these are my World War II bolt-action Soviet infantry.
Mine?
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll have to restart
No,
it.
seriously, they are mine.
Yeah. Do you want to do the video?
Yeah, I can do it better than you anyway. I'm way smarter than you. Let's face it, I look way better in the hat. So, these are my bolt-action Soviet infantry, painted up as very early Russian infantry to fight against the Japanese. Now, as you can see, they are early Russians, and they are much more better than Japanese because they are way more superior with weapons and tanks.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
They weren't?
Yes, they were.
Didn't have better planes.
May not have had better planes, but they had a lot more stuff on the ground.
Okay, fine. But you don't win just by having loads and loads of figures.
Still better figures.
So, okay, now I'll take it from here. These are my wife's Russian infantry, early war Russians. They started fighting the Japanese at the Kathleen Gol incident, which was pretty bad for the Japanese, although they never really got to finish the war, but whatever she says. It could have been that the Japanese actually turned out on top, although, yeah, the Japanese had less equipment than the Russians, and some of the Russian kit was slightly better than the Japanese, but that's about as far as I'm going to give her. On the whole, they're not bad figures. They're pretty easy to put together. She's equipped them with your standard Russian equipment of the time. You've got the anti-tank rifle from the period, which was pretty good against Japanese stuff, useless against anything after 1940, but it was in use and pretty useful as an anti-tank rifle. The Russians also used it as an anti-aircraft gun, which is interesting. The Japanese anti-tank weapon at the time was a 20mm gun. The Russian was a anti-tank rifle, which was slightly superior, although the Japanese version had a higher rate of fire. These guys are pretty generic Russians, so they can pass for any front of the war, even the 1939 war. And you can even use them against my Chinese, because my Chinese are awesome. And they fought against the Russians on the border quite a lot. I wanted to use all the Molotov cocktails on my Chinese, but she's already used some on her Russians. So that's the Molotov cocktail figure, who is awesome! I love that guy. The officer appears to be carrying a pistol, and he's got a submachine gun on his shoulder. I think she's given a Thompson to one of the guys as well, there. And, oh yes, this is something I did do, and that was the flamethrower. You can see the flamethrower here. It's entirely scratch built, all that's made out of milliput, and the actual gun is a standard rifle barrel with a tube stuck on top. I think it's a spear shaft from the Greeks. But that is basically what the weapon looked like. It was a very unusual looking flamethrower. It was a bit like a rifle with a tube attached to it, so that is the early war flamethrower for the Russians. The figures are very nicely posed. Everything about them is just right. Given that they're 1939, if I was her, I would have added a few German helmets, because the Russians did use the German helmet at this period. They had some units with German helmets, but obviously she decided not to. But overall, very nice figures. Not a huge fan of Russians myself, but it should be interesting pitting them against the Japanese. As we said before, there were considerable tank battles between the Japanese and the Russians. The Russians had a lot of dinky little tanks, but the Japanese had a lot of even dinkier tanks, and so the battles between the two were not as one-sided as you might think. The Japanese didn't have much in the way of anti-tank weapons, whereas the Russian tanks were built to have anti-tank weapons mounted on them. So the Russians had the edge, although the Japanese had slightly better command and control. So we are going to play a few battles with these, see how they turn out against the Japanese. Obviously my Japanese will win, but I'm sure you'll enjoy the battle when we do it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Probably a little bit strange, two people doing a review, but hey, what the heck. Click like if you like the video, or leave a comment, and I can tell you now, is Japanese aren't going to win.
Why didn't you put German helmets on them?
I don't know.
Oh, right. Right, anyway, that's from me and from
me.
Right, see ya.
Мы будем всегда беззаветно верны. Славься, Отечество, наше свободное. Славься, Отечество, наше свободное. Дружбы народов надежный оплот. Партия Ленина, сила народная, нас к торжеству коммунизма ведет. Победе бессмертных людей коммунизма мы видим грядущее нашей страны. И красному знамени славной отчизны мы будем всегда беззаветно верны. Славься, Отечество!